Hey, welcome back. You watched my series, you'll recognize this. I started writing in this journal a week ago today. So I decided that I need to finish it off a little bit. I don't have my tie done yet. I'm going to add a tassel here eventually. But I am almost, well, this is my writing board, so you can see how much I've used of this journal already. Now, granted, this much was my interim journal. So the journal I wrote before my journal, basically, that I attached to the front cover of my first signature. But that's a lot of space to have in a journal that's not completely finished off, let's say. What I'm gonna do today is, I'm not liking how this is working right here, so I'm gonna fix that. Same with this up here, so I'm gonna fix that. That one's pretty tight. And then I'm going to decorate these pockets right here. Probably add a third, so do 3 pockets. And then I'm going to show you how I do the rest of my journal. Okay, so let's address this first. This didn't go so well. I must not have put enough glue on it or whatever, but I'm not digging how this is coming up. So I am going to just trim it. I'm going to trim it. This is wire. If you can see that. It has wire sticking out of the edges. Yeah, there we go. Of the edges of the ribbon, and that's to help shape the ribbon better, which is great, except when I use it, now I poke my fingers on the ends. So I want to get rid of that. Just a personal preference. By any means, you could just glue it down better, but I'm just going to trim it. I don't like how it's popping up and how it looks, and I think if I do it right, it's like I'm not even going to really notice, and it might even look like I did it on purpose. Like, you know, a frayed edge, you know? Imperfections. I love them. Okay, so, and I thought if I still had problems, I could glue maybe something over top of it. Like, since my journal is a cat theme, I could be a little cat crazy and do something like, oh, I don't know, glue that puppy down. Puppy, not puppy, but glue that beautiful kitty cat down. Or I have 1,000 different images I could use, literally 1,000. Look at that. I could extend my pocket and glue that down. So I could glue it down like that and have a nice, a nice smooth way to tuck things in. In fact, so look at that face. Ugh. So there's literally a lot of different ways. In my opinion, it doesn't need to be glamorous. It just has to be functional, and it has to appeal to you because it's your journal. So I kind of like that kitty cat. Let's see. So I have all these images cut out. I used to have one little folder here labeled cats, and I would stick all my cutout images of kitty cats in there. but that got out of hand real quick. So then now they're all in Ziplocs. And then after the Ziploc, I put them in a big tote like this. That's bigger than 12 by 12, so all my stuff could fit in there. But these are the images that I use, or that I cut out of everything cat. Look at this image. I could do something like that. That's kind of fun. I like this, but I'm not going to use it right there. I think I'm just going to see how this works. I kind of like how it's just being itself right now. All right, so I'm going to decorate this pocket and this pocket, and I'm going to use some kitty cat paraphernalia that I have. I also have stickers that I could put on here. Washi tape of kitty cats. And then I have this ribbon that says meow on it. And a bunch of other stuff. So what I normally do when I'm finishing up a journal is I use pre-made pockets. And here's an example of some pre-made pockets that I do. I have a shoebox full of cutout shapes, and I showed you that in my last video. But it's just, it's undecorated different pockets. Left pockets, right pockets, belly bands, side pockets, cut out of all my scrap paper that were cut down from something that I did in the past. Middle pockets. So those are all where I keep these. So if I want a journal real quick, I'll take all of these, glue them in my journal, and I'm done. If it's a theme journal, or if I want a completely glammed out journal, I will take and I'll finish them even further like this. And if it's a theme, instead of having sunshine or like this specimen, I would have maybe the word meow here and, a cat face or something. So, but when I'm decorating them, I kind of follow the same basic design. Is you want to add elements, and you want to add them in groups of uneven numbers. So like a 3 or a 5. So in this one I added 5. I added this, you can barely see, but it's like music sheet paper. So that's 1 piece of lace. 2, this is gauze, just regular gauze that you would put on a wound. So 1, 2, 3, and then the number here, and then the focal point, which is the mushrooms. So that's 5. And I usually go with 5, sometimes 3, but almost always 5. So in this one I have this, it's like plastic, like a plastic grid. And then I have this embroidery floss, and then this jumble of paper and the cluster and that. So with the texture in the back, I kind of made that my 5th element, kind of like, even though this has a texture in the back, it's so subtle that you don't even really notice it. So it worked having the 5 elements. But with this background and so many elements in my cluster, I just went with this. So when you're doing these and you're putting them together, if it feels like it's a little too much, take one off. If it feels like it's not enough, add one. But a general rule of thumb is to add about 5 pieces or elements to one of your pockets. And always have a focal point. Now this one, the focal point is basically the word sunshine. All the rest are secondary. This one is the mushrooms. So that gives you a little bit of an example of what I'm working towards here. So this is what I'm going to do for these 2 pockets, is I'm going to decorate them and kind of follow that rule of thumb. I'll make another video where I mass produce these pockets, because I usually do them in groups of 6, 9, sometimes 12, depending on the item. When I do my clusters, which are right here, I've done groups as big as 24. So it kind of depends on the size of whatever it is I'm making a mass production of. But when I'm working with something this little, I will lay them out 24 pieces of the back, and then keep layering, and by the time I'm done, I will have 24 of these clusters done. So I have a lot of clusters done. Even these are hanging clusters with little bulb pins. I love those. Anyway, you'll see with these 2, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements that goes into my bulb cluster, hanging clusters. So, all right, but I'll make a video for that next at a later date. But basic principle applies to what I'm going to show you here today. So let's do this. I kind of like this image right there. So I am going to fussy cut around these 2 little cutie pies. And this is going to be my image, or my focal point. Okay. Oh, I just love that. And remember to ink things after you cut them out. Gives them a little bit more depth. Even if you don't think you can see it, your eye sees it. It adds depth. All right, so we're going to start with that. And I think what I'm going to do is, I have all these scraps. I have this one that's called, can you see that? Fabric, gauze. I have wax seals, ribbon and string, words, and some lace. So I think I'm going to do some maybe fabric. bunchy it is, but maybe I can find something and fix it. Ooh, I like that too. That adds a lot of texture. All right, so we'll do that maybe. And then my lace here. These are just scraps that I have left over from my makes. And I thought they were too big or too pretty or too something to throw away. I don't tend to throw away anything unless it's way too tiny. So I'm thinking I'll do something like that, and then maybe incorporate a little of this. So I'm not digging this completely though. Let me see what else I have in here. I could do a little darker. That kind of fades it in the background, doesn't it? Oops. Gives it some depth. Instead of this string, I think maybe I'll use something like this in the background. So something very, very light and inconspicuous. I think I'm gonna, there's more than one layer here. I know there is. Yeah, see? So I think what I'll do is I'll add this on the very bottom and then add these elements on top. So let me cut this up a little bit more. Okay. And I really have no idea how this is going to turn out. I might get done and it might be terrible. I don't know yet. But I'm going to find out because putting a light coat of this, I'm going to find out because I got to get this done and I just want it done. And I want something here that's cute, that's in my theme. So let's put that down. And then we're gonna put this down. I'm using Beacon's Advanced Craft Glue, my favorite glue ever. I'm not going all crazy, but I'm gonna put enough down so it sticks. And I'm not gonna put big globs on it because I want it to be relatively flat, but it doesn't have to be completely flat either. Like, I want some depth, some texture. Okay. can't stand that glue on my fingers. Okay, then I'm going to have this little guy right here. And as you can see, this came from some type of calendar or agenda or something, probably a calendar. I'm gonna put that right there. All right. Then I cut that with my scissors, my pinking shears. So now I'm gonna cut this side with my pinking shears as well. About right there. Oh, no, I want to even, oh, right there, I think. There's like a grounding to that. And I'm gonna do something a little different for me. Usually I like things, I like that askew too. I think that's how I'm gonna do it, right like that. So I'm gonna glue that down and the piece of ribbon down. And am I gonna get worried about the ribbon and how it's not perfectly, like it's unraveling? No, I'm not going to. I think it's cute that way. I love it. So we're gonna put that little piece down there. And then a little bit more glue. And then I'm gonna put this down. There. Add a little bit more glue. I do that on the edges, so kind of like this. They won't, if you put it on the edges or the corners, it's less likely to want to catch on something and pop back up. So if your edges are nicely glued down, that's less likely to happen. Oh, I got a great big glob there. Let's wipe that off, and same here. I got way more than I needed, but it's gonna keep those edges down. All right. Maybe a little bit more up here. Okay. All right, one done. That's cute. I like that. Okay, now for the blue pocket. Let's see what else we have. Should I do another kitty cat? Or should I do... No, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do one of my pre-made things. And I think I might use... I have... Let's see what I have. That might be a little small. I have all these silhouettes cut out, kitty cats. I might use something with those, but then I also want to add what I could find in my stash. I don't think I like that. So I was thinking I could do a bunch of these paw prints, because these are stick-on stickers. I could just dot them on here. Not as many as on the sheet, but kind of, you know, 6, 7 of them. I didn't mean to do that. 6, 7. And then maybe do a silhouette. And then maybe do something like this, which is a hanging cluster. And I kind of like that. I don't know. I think I do, actually. I don't know if I like this element so much. So every time that I put something together, I just kind of move it around, see what looks good. Maybe I need a texture in the background. Maybe if I ink this, it'll give me a better idea of what it might look like. I kind of play around with it a little bit, see how much the different elements interact with each other, if they work well together, if they are competing with one another. So I just play with all my elements and see what I like. I could add maybe some washi tape down here. That's a possibility. And have what I would call 3 basic elements, 1, 2, 3. And that might be enough because there's so much going on with that. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Get it done rather than sit here and hem and haw about it. I love this washi tape. Isn't it cute? Oh, so cute. I have that one, and then I have this one too. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have used this one. Nah, I like them both. I'll use this one later. Oh God, could I add it there? Too much. That's one thing when you use a background like these backgrounds, how as soon as you start adding things on the page, how crazy it makes your eyeballs because there's just so much going on. All right, so I'm gonna cut it right here. And if you've never used washi tape before, washi tape is basically a lightly gluey type of tape that you're actually supposed to use glue on if you want it to stick forever and ever. So if you're having a problem with your washi tape sticking, just add a little bit, an extra layer of glue to your the back of your washi tape, and then glue it down, or else it will just pop right back up. Okay, so I'm going to do this little guy right there. Actually, I think I'm going to trim him a little bit more so it contours his body, because I'm weird. I'm fussy sometimes. Okay, so he'll be playing on the end there. And then on this tabby right here. I'm going to cut right around him. Okay. And this guy I can save for later. I'll just add him back to my spool of washi tape. Okay. So, where did I want this at? I wanted it right about, I think right about there. And then I'll add this guy. What do y'all think? I stick this on right here. Something in me wants something other than this guy here for some reason. I kind of like it right there. Ugh. This one's not going to have a tail. Well, it is. It's just going to be wrapped up behind him. So he's curling his tail right up over here, and we can't see it because that's just a kitty cat sitting there. Yeah. And then I'm going to find a different element for the blue pocket. I have so many different cat pictures and elements. I think I can find something that I like there a little bit more than that. I just need to look through my stash here real quick. I found these cats. Okay, that's a little bit, like, I love that. And it kind of goes with the amazing thing. Like, I don't know, like that cat is, oh my gosh, or maybe this one. That one might be a bit too big. I wish this one was backwards. Okay, it's got to be this plain kitten. He is just having the time of his life, it looks like. So that's who's gonna make the cut here, is this kitten. I'm going to, my fingers are all gluey. Okay, so I'm going to add my extra glue to this. Smooth it out a tad. Add it. Before it dries, reposition it before it dries. Yeah. All right. And then I'm going to add this crazy kitten. I needed something a little bit more exciting than the silhouette. Let's see if I can get this off here. I don't normally use stickers, but I wanted you to see that you can use whatever you have, whatever you want. You don't have to go out and spend a ton on washi tape or stickers. Like, you can either have a punch, you can have just random bits and pieces, or you can cut them out of magazines. You can root around in your bathroom, your bathroom closet, because that's from, gauze and Band-Aid, and, just bits and pieces. So there you go. That is where I'm going to leave this. And then I'm going to stick this back in here. And that's how I'm going to leave it. That's it. That is done. Oh, I wanted to mention also, if you are the type that wants a bunch of stuff on your page, let's set that aside, and you're looking to decorate this too, feel free to add all kinds of elements too. So maybe something like this on the side. I'm just not that foo-foo-y. I think that's a little bit more foo-foo-y than I want to be. Some days I feel foo-foo-y and I want to add more stuff like that, which is completely fine if you want to get in that zone. Some days I like to add whale tail tabs. So if you don't know what whale tail tabs are, you can get punches that punch this shape, and it's kind of in the shape of the tail of a whale. That's why it's called that. And then you add them on to your page, kind of line them up, and this becomes a tab for you to flip through quickly if you want a tab, or just a decorative tab. I've put, I think it was this one. Not very effectively, but it was what I wanted to do at the time, is I added months to the whale tail tabs to tell me where I was when I was going through this journal. So if you didn't want to do it like a chronological thing, you could put just different pictures here and use it as an element to add more texture and interest to your journal, or to keep track of like favorite things, like here I must have liked this, and yeah, so who knows. So anyway, there's an example of adding extra things to this page that I'm not going to do right now, but yeah, is an example of what you can do. And don't feel like my way is the only way to do it. Maybe you want a piece of lace here. Like, wouldn't that be cute? That'd be super cute. If I had a piece of lace right here, maybe not that thick. Let's try this one. That went like that, that hung off the page. It's adorable. Do I want to add it right now? Do I? I don't know, maybe. It's so cute. But you can do that. And don't let anything stop you if you have the elements. Okay, I'm just gonna add it. I talk myself into it because it's super cute. So, or did you talk me into it? I don't know. Either way, it's a good thing, right? So let's see. Gonna want it roughly right after this guy right here. All right, let's just do it. Add a bead of this glue. And I'm gonna smooth it out. Glue I don't want. smooth it out with my thumb here. And then I'm just gonna add it. You made me, you forced me to. And now I gotta do it. And now I love it. Look at that. All right. I might need a little extra glue. I didn't add a ton, but look, so cute. Okay. For the rest of the book, I'm going to be adding pockets like this one, and I'm gonna go through all my pages and add extra pockets like on these pages and just quickly glue them in, and then I will be ready to decorate. See you in my next video.